Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about how I make my videos for YouTube. It's going to cover quite a few things in addition to PowerPoint. It's going to cover two files in Word, one file in two files in PowerPoint, an editor, and of course YouTube. So let's get right into it. This is the process flow, if you want to call it that. I start off with an idea, and when I started this, I had lots of ideas, but I want to start from the basics and then move forward. And you'll see that once we get into the list of topics. So I wrote down a bunch of ideas I want to go over, a bunch of topics, then started working on thumbnails, as you see in PowerPoint. The problem was that I was making them so plain Jane that YouTube actually wrote me and says, "Oh, we need you to make them a little more vibrant, a little more engaging." And I have a book that's written by one of the people on YouTube, and basically what they want is to see your face. They want to see your body and expression as it relates to the topic you're going to talk about. So I started doing that. Did not get any more comments from the YouTube police, and was off and running. The next section, the third one on the left, you'll see is notes, scripts, and PowerPoint. What that is what it says. I come up with different notes, different things I want to say that will add to the script, different things I want to put into PowerPoint as far as slides, some things I want to put into PowerPoint as speaker notes, just a lot of different things that come up, ideas, alternative ways of doing something to hopefully have everything laid out before I start to record, which is the next box at the top right. And as you see in the black, I'll use 3 different recorders. PowerPoint I've used a couple of times, still getting proficient with it. Zoom, which I've used probably 98, 99% of the time. And I've also used Windows Recorder once or maybe twice. Issue with theirs is that they do not have a camera cameo like the other two. Once I've done with the recording and made my first attempt, put it into my video editor, which is PowerDirector 11 or PowerDirector 16. And you may ask, why do I have 2 of them? The version 11 is on my older i5 computer or laptop, and PowerDirector 16 is on the newer one. I like the older machine because it's heavier, it's got a lot more connections, but I'm going to have to eventually switch to the newer machine because it's just slower, it's got less memory. So then edit the video, edit out all the background noise here in the house. Edit out any weird signs I may be doing or rubbing my nose or picking my nose, cut all those things out, any repeats, and then hopefully come up with a clean version that would be pleasing to the viewer. Once the edits are done, save it as a 4K file, which may take an hour or 2 or 3, depending on how long it is. Then I post it to YouTube, which takes about another hour. And once that's done, then I can do the final add-ins, as you see in the last box, which are things like end screens and also any other cards that I may disperse throughout the video to help a user go back to a previous topic that we've talked about. So that's the high level overview of how I do this. There's probably simpler ways with other software, but this is the software that I had, and that's what I'm using. As far as backups, I use an external hard drive for all of my data. I use a thumb drive to record the PowerPoint folder and put it in the safe just in case, or if I'm traveling. And then I'll do a full backup of the entire system once a month or so. Not as often as I would like, but I'm trying to get better. And I do, as you can see, I do use hard drives, not cassette tapes that are shown on the in the slide here. So you may be asking or saying, when is he going to show us? Show us. So let me switch to a different view, and we'll show you what we have. Okay, the first file we're going to look at goes over the ideas. Let's go to topics. And these are hyperlinks, just set up the same way as hyperlinks in PowerPoint, except they're in Word. And you can see I have them broken out here in groups of 5. The first 5 were the ones that I set up initially, and I produced those 5 before I even made them public, just to kind of give me a backlog. My intent was to put a new video out every Wednesday at noon Central Time, and this gave me a chance to get ahead. I've gotten ahead with 5 videos one other time since then in about a year, and it really helps to take a break at Christmas and at other times of the year. So as you scroll on down, you'll see lots of topics that we've covered, and we're currently on topic 65, things I use to make my videos. Now I have about 120, 125 so far. I'm coming up with more ideas. I also need to go over some of the first ones, better audio, better graphics, better resolution on the output, just giving it a makeover. So we should be hopefully through with this project in another year or so. So let's go back to the top. And what we have here, this is the very first one, putting PowerPoint in presentation mode. It premiered on that date, and these are just notes that I came up with. Here's my description. My description, my wife told me was too long. I was putting too much in the description and not enough into the video, so I changed that. Let's go down a few pages and look at how I changed it. Okay, here is one adding music. Just different things I've talked about, different formats. And what I want to show you, let's go down quite a few. Let's look at this one here. Okay, the master slide. I not only have the date it's going to premiere, but I've got the type of recording I used or the type of software that I used, and some notes to myself and when it's done. And then I just have various notes through here, pros, cons, and other stuff. Scripts that I'll say during the video, and then some examples and a recap. Then I put in a spot to refer to other videos that I've done. I've shortened the video, and I've also added chapters based on the timeline of the video. Now we're going to a recent one I just did, how to record your presentation with PowerPoint. How this one was really unique. I had to use 2 cameras. I had to use the camera on me and then the camera on the screens, so you could see me and see the screens. So I came up with a silent demo. We'll talk about that in another file. And then I have the items I want to talk about. I have notes from PowerPoint's help, different things I want to mention during the recording. and I've even used some of their, or I didn't use their, I made some screen grabs very similar to their examples. Just various points you want to make, and then other notes that I have that I went over, and then some data to make slides for the PowerPoint to accompany the video. And then of course the demo and the chapters and the various cards, and also the playlist. What type? I've got like 7 different playlists set up: hardware, software, peopleware, and about 3 or 4 others. Let's go back to the top. I have a short list of ideas on shorts. I think I've produced 6 or 7. So this one was done on that date. Here's another one done a couple of weeks later. There's one a week later. Here's my link to the playlist, the shorts, and the videos. And I have a document out on Google of all the topics as of, the data that I published it. And just some more stuff on shorts. I've also developed one other thing that I haven't spent a lot of time on is quizzes. You got to have a certain number of subscribers to have the official quiz through YouTube. But I figured I could make a small version, a small video, maybe 1 to 2 minutes long. 3 questions, a pause, and 3 answers, and you call it done. Maybe do that monthly or every other month. Haven't thought through it a lot, but I've come up with some questions. Let's go back to the top one last time. So that covers the first file in Word that covers the idea and the topics. Now we're going to go to the thumbnails. I call the file cover, and here are the thumbnails in PowerPoint. But if you go to slide sorter view, you can of course see multiple slides at one time. And this is very nice if I want to see what I have not done. So this is the one for today. I can also look back and see which ones I have 2 thumbnails on, but I can only use 1. This one has got a bigger picture of me, and tell yours is higher. And there's another one, I can't remember where the other one was. One other thing, right here on recording. Here I have the PowerPoint symbol on the record, and recording is angled. Here it's straight, no symbol. I'll probably use one of these when I do the other recordings related to Zoom and also Microsoft's Recorder. But the real neat thing you can do is, say I want to use this image in my next slide, just go ahead and open up the slide, copy the image, go back to slide sorter, move to whatever slide you want to put it on, and you're good. You can even, as I've shown some of you, you can even flip them depending on what it is you want to do. So that makes it real nice. So that is the list of all the thumbnails. You see the first 2 or 3 didn't have a picture. There's another one, and here's some more. And it's like about 2 months in, I finally got on the program and started using pictures. Now we're going to switch to the editor. And this also is on the subject of recording in PowerPoint. I have my silent demo since I'm at the very beginning of the video. And you can see silent demo here. And if you use an editor before, this is all secondhand. If you haven't used an editor, get one, try it. It's a lot of fun. You learn a lot. And as I mentioned, I had to use two cameras. So if I'm recording on the screen, I'm recording with an external camera in addition to the camera that was facing me. You see, this is a snapshot. This is the JPG cover for silent demo. These are various outputs. This one here, as you can see, is recording PPT on my phone. Let me reduce this and you can see all the different cuts. See, this is on the phone. This is the silent demo on the phone. I typically record the silent demo separately from the main presentation just to have two separate recordings and take a break. So here we have a sample presentation for the demo. This is basically a PowerPoint presentation that I'm giving in this silent demo. And here's a couple of snapshots showing all the stuff regarding to exports. Then we get into the main recording on the phone where I'm actually shooting the screen, or I'm shooting both. I'm only going to show the screen. And it just goes on and on and on. I've got notes here. Do not record voice while slides are transitioning, just to help hammer home a point. And then from my little template, I have the silent demo and the template at the very beginning, of course. And then at the end, I have just a color card here. This one currently is blue. And then the thumbnail for the page, for the YouTube page, just to have something other than my face when those cards come up. I don't want my face being covered because I want to have a nice smile when we end the video and say thank you for watching. So I have this last 20 seconds, like 11 there and 11 there, to capture the cards that YouTube will show once I select them. So that's the video, the editor part. Once you're all done, you go to produce. I normally output it as an H.264, and then I crank up. I don't know if we need to select it first. Then I crank up the output to 4K. That helps with the text in PowerPoint in the menus. It really helps us see those items a lot clearer. So then I give it a path and give it a name, hit save, that it tells me how long, hit start, that it tells me how long it's going to take, and I come back in about an hour or so and upload to YouTube. So we've covered the generation of the idea. That can come anytime. You don't even have to be at home to come up with that. We've gone over thumbnails produced in PowerPoint. We've gone over all the notes, scripts, and PowerPoint text that is generated in Word, and also the PowerPoint that is generated for the video. We talk about recording the video in one of three formats, editing the video, posting it to YouTube, and then final add-ins to YouTube. Now there is one other file that's not listed on here. It's a Word file that I use to self-evaluate. I call it Comments on YouTube channel. And as you can see, it's basically a self-evaluation of what I think was good and what I think was bad, or not bad, but could use improvement. And the reason being, small changes go a long way. I read in the book, and also I've noticed just by looking that the mobile user is pretty predominant on YouTube. So you want, from my perspective, your fonts to be as large as possible. You want your screens to be as large as possible. As in this example, you know, keep blowing it up just to help that mobile user because they're the one that's driving this whole YouTube uh, issue. But I have items in yellow that I put in here as action items to hopefully improve the video. Here's where I need to go back and figure out how I did this particular item. Here's one that I should not do anymore. The white pullover was too white, it was reflective, and I should know that from commercial TV. You can add custom cards at any point once the video is uploaded. As you may know, once you load the video, you can change the description, you can change the thumbnail, you can change the title, you can change the cards, you can change anything except the video. So it's kind of neat and kind of bad. I think other services allow you to modify the video, but not YouTube. Here's where I made a comment to myself. I could have used my other monitor. I have as I mentioned, a laptop and a 32-inch TV. It's an old TV. It's a Sony, and for some reason the resolution doesn't come out as good as it should. So that's what that is about. Just self-evaluation. Here's an item I need to work on to put on my topics list. Smart art. And it's just more notes to myself. So that's the high level overview. So it's not as complicated as building a superstructure like these guys are doing here out of steel and iron and having big heavy cranes, but it can be somewhat involved. As I mentioned, there may be simpler ways of doing it. If you have comments on that, let me know and I'll try it. I am looking at getting some software where I can not only upload the video but stream at the same time. Hopefully get some more involvement. So we've talked about all the different components I use: Word, PowerPoint, the video editor, everything else. I guess everything except Excel. We've talked about backups, the time involved, roughly, the viewing of the premiere, and then the self-evaluation for improvement. So that's it for how I make my videos. Hopefully you got something out of it. Let me hear from you. Would love to get into a dialogue with some of you that are viewing, and hopefully this can help you with your YouTube channel that you may have or may plan, or it could help you at work with a big project, or it could help you at school. The real thing is to get organized and get a process and just follow that process until you find something that's a little bit better for your end product. This is a weekly project, so the end product is constantly evolving, trying to have better lighting, better video, better audio. We're going to get more into that in another topic on the hardware items that I use here. But for the time being, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time, and happy PowerPointing.